at the Chaos Space Marines. Pretty cool artwork here. Death to the False Emperor. So, always been more of a Marine player by myself, but Chaos does have some pretty cool models. So let's roll into this faction focus and see what they give us. Chaos Space Marine get a bit of a bad rep. Yes, they pledge themselves to diabolical cosmic horrors in search of greater power. They do periodically try to overthrow the Imperium's galactic rule, and perhaps they've held a bit of a grudge for the last 10,000 years or so. But can we really blame them? Yeah, probably. Alright, so let's see here. Abaddon. Venom Crawler. Some Forge Fiends. Well, yeah, those are Forge, I think. And Disco Lord. Alright, let's roll into the rules. So the faction rules. Dark Pacts. If your army faction is Heretic Astartes, each time a unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Pact. If it does so, select one of the following abilities for that unit's weapons to gain until the end of the phase. So you can either get lethal hits, which gives you auto wounds on 6s, or sustained hits, which gives you extra shots on 6s, or extra hits on 6s. So, fighting Knights, fighting MSU GS, Genestealer Cult, like depending on your opponent, both solid. Each time a unit makes a Dark Pact after it resolves its attacks, it must take a leadership test. If that test is failed, unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Alright, so average of 2 if you fail a leadership check. On your generic units, we're probably looking, well, they probably show us a second, like a 6. So you're probably failing 35% of the time or something like that. 40%? I don't know the exact math off the top of my head. It's basically 1 in 3 chance of taking mortal wounds. So let's see, Legionnaires. Alright, they're showing us the back of it too. Alright, so Champion's Bolt Gun can be placed with one of the following: Plasma Pistol, max 1 per model, a Cursed Weapon, Astartes Chainsword, Heavy Melee Weapon. Champion's Bolt Pistol can be placed with one of the following: Plasma Pistol, Cursed Weapon, Chainsword, Heavy Melee Weapon. So we can change his Bolt Gun or his Bolt Pistol. You can only have one of the Plasma Pistol, but it looks like you could double up on anything else. We'll see, but you can only choose one melee weapon, so we'll see if any of them have extra attacks on them, because then that might be useful. One model can get the Chaos Icon. We'll see what that does. Any number of Legionnaires can have their Bolt Gun replaced with one of Astartes Chainsword. So you can give Chainsword to the whole squad. One Legionnaire Bolt Gun replaces one heavy melee weapon, so one guy can take a heavy melee weapon. So you have 4 to 9, but it's not like 1 per 5. So even if you take a 10-man squad, looks like only one guy can take a heavy melee weapon. One Legionnaire Bolt Gun replaces one Balefire Tome. And here's for every 5 models in the unit, one Legionnaire Bolt Gun replaced with one of the following: Plasma Pistol, Flamer, Havoc Autocannon, Heavy Bolter. So these ones here can be found on the Armory card. One Las Cannon, one Melt-A-Gun, one Missile Launcher, one Plasma Gun, one Reaper Chain Cannon. Alright, so movement 6, toughness 4, 3 up save, 2 wounds, leadership 6, 2 objective control. I believe that's exactly the same as a Marine. Alright, Balefire Tome is Psychic. Like I said in the last video, we'll see what the Psychic keyword does. If stuff like Calexis is and stuff like that are immune to Psychic attacks, or if the Psychic keyword doesn't do anything, it's just letting you know, hey, this used to be a Psychic power in 9th edition. 18-inch range, 2 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 5, neg 1 damage. Alright, not overwhelming. Bolt Pistol, pistol keyword. So I mean you can be shot in combat. 12 inches, 1 attack, 3 up to hit, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. Same as the Bolt Pistol now, I believe. Bolt Gun, 24 inches, does not have rapid fire. I believe the Marines ones have rapid fire. Unless that's a typo, the Legionnaires do not get rapid fire on their bolt guns. 24-inch range, 2 attacks, 3 up, to hit, strength 4, AP01 damage. Pretty much the same as it is now in the Marine one, other than it's missing rapid fire. My first thought is that's a typo, but it could just be that, like, oh, their guns are so old, the rapid fire technology something came up later, but I don't know. A Flamer ignores cover and Torrent, so Flamers still auto hit, but they get ignores cover back, which they used to have back in the old days, I'll say, as a sound like an old man. So that's really solid. 12-inch T6 shots. Obviously, no bill of skill because it auto hits. Strength 4, AP01 damage. Solid weapon. Havoc autocannon. Heavy, so if you remain stationary, you'll get +1 to hit. 48 inches. 2 attacks, 3 up to hit, so 2 up to hit if you stay stationary. Strength 9, -1, 3 damage. Solid weapon. Melt-A-Gun, Melt-A-2, so in half range, which is going to be 6 inches, you'll get 2 extra damage. So 12, 1 attack, 3 up to hit, strength 9, -4, d6. Plasma pistol, so they have standard and overcharge. Both versions have pistol. Hazardous, which is, this isn't on the hit now anymore. It's if you use the supercharged version, after you complete your attacks, you roll 1d6. On a 1, the model will die, or if it's a character, monster, or vehicle, it takes 3 mortals. So in this case, the Legionnaire carrying it would just die. So yeah, 1 attack, 3 out, the hit. The same on both. Strength 7 goes to Strength 8 overcharged. -2 goes to -3 overcharged. 1 damage goes to 2 damage overcharged. Pretty much the same as now, I believe. Although it's possible the AP stayed the same and just the damage changed this edition. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Reaper Chain Cannon, heavy, so once again, stay still, +1 to hit. 20 more inch range, 8 attacks, only a 4 up to hit. So if you move, you're hitting on 4s, you stay still, you'll get 3s. Strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. So that's okay. If it hit on 3s and or had an AP, that would be a great weapon. But still solid. Melee. So none of the melee weapons have extra attacks. So other than wanting to have the versatility to choose between 2 different ones, I don't see any reason to equip one with 2. So Curse Weapon, 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, Strength 5, -2, 1 damage. Solid generic weapon on a battle line unit. Melee, Starry's Chainsword, 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, Strength 4, -1, 1 damage. I'm assuming it's going to be 5 points cheaper than the Accursed Weapon or free. Otherwise, I don't know why you wouldn't always take the Accursed Weapon over that. Just generic close combat weapon, 3 attacks, 3 up to hit, Strength 4, AP01 damage. Alright, so that's probably the free weapon they come with. This would probably be 5 points and 10 points, I would assume. If they're the same points, there'd be no point not to take the Accursed Weapon. Then heavy melee weapon, 3 attacks, 3 up to hit, Strength 8, -2, 2 damage. So better strength and damage than the Accursed Weapon, but same AP, but 1 less attack. So we'll see how much they value that 1 attack versus the strength and damage, and how they point it versus the Accursed Weapon. Infantry Battle Line Chaos Grenade. So they do have the grenades stratagem. If you saw my other video on all the generic stratagems, you can basically do mortals. Then Dark Packs. Veteran Long Tour. Each time a model in this unit targets an enemy unit with a melee attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. Alright. If that enemy unit is within range of objective marking, reroll the wound roll set. Alright, so they get to reroll 1s with their melee attacks, and if the enemy is within range of an objective marker, they get to reroll all their wounds. I'm assuming still in a melee attack. Okay, solid. Chaos Icon. Each time the bearer's unit takes a leadership test for the Dark Pact ability, you can reroll that test. Alright, so now you can give them sustained hits or lethal hits, and instead of failing like 1 out of 3 times, you'll fail like 1 out of 6 times on average. Although if you're like me, the turn you fail and use the reroll, you're still failing. But that is helpful. We'll see how much an icon is. I would assume 10 to 15 points. I'm not sure if that's worth it, but it might be to just be able to spam out the Dark Pact on them every turn. And they have a lot of weapon options. So Really liking the Legionnaire unit. Like a lot of the stuff I've seen so far, none of the units seem like completely broken, but none of them seem like I would never take that. But obviously they're faction focus units, so they're not showing us probably the worst units in the codexes. But they seem very solid for your generic battle line. I can see a lot of lists being built around this to take your objectives, hop out of rhinos with all your shooting. Maybe put a big squad in a Land Raider, hop out and charge with it. We'll see how that goes. Then we got old Abaddon. Alright, movement 5. Big boy's slow. T5. 2-up save. 9 wounds. Leadership 5. Objective control 4. So objective control, that's the same as Gilly. Toughness is lower. Wounds is lower. So I guess they're... it seemed like they had Abaddon on the level with the Primarchs before. Now it looks like they... at least toughness-wise, they saying he's a tier below. Talon of Horus, ranged weapon, sustained hits 1, 6 to hit will give you an extra hit. 24-inch range, 4 attacks, 2 up to hit, strength 5, -1, 2 damage. Okay, solid little shooting attack. Melee weapon, Draken and Talon of Horus both have devastating wounds. Neither of them extra attack, so just like Guilliman, you'll be choosing. You get 14 or 8. So we got 8 attacks, 2 up, 14 strength, -4, 3 damage. Very solid weapon. 14 attacks, 2 up, strength 7, -3. Only 1 damage, though. So that's okay. If that was 2 damage, this weapon would be amazing. Especially once you got the mortals, it'd be mortaling 2 through instead of 1. So it's okay. Over here, Deep Strike Leader, so he'll be joining units. That will be interesting because Abaddon's a pretty big model, so I wonder if he'll be joining like a little Terminator squad or something. What will Abaddon be joining? Because he'll be just towering over it. And he has infantry now. So that means he can go, well, assuming he can go through walls and stuff in ruins if they work the way they did now. I got all the keywords from all the gods. Chaos Undivided. Has a Terminator keyword. Alright, so I'm assuming he'll be joining Terminator units. That'll be odd looking. That'll be like up to his kneecaps. So over here, War Master. In your command phase, select 1 War Master ability until the start of your next command phase. This model has the ability, so that's the same as Guilliman. He gets to choose one of his 3. Paragon of Hatred is an aura. While a friendly heretic has started unit is within 6 of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll a hit roll. So it's an aura. So everybody within 6 of him can reroll hits. So that'll be his Terminator squad all the time. Then if anybody else knows, so that's okay. Mark of Chaos Ascendant, another aura. So he's giving out the auras. While a friendly heretic studies infantry or heretic studies mounted unit is within 6 inches of this model, models that you have 4 Brimble save. Alright, so that's strong. We'll see if I think Terminators had a 4-up now anyway. If I remember from what they showed on Marine Terminators, I'm assuming Chaos will be the same, so it's not really helping them. But mounted units, that could be like, I'm assuming Juggernauts, Bikes, not Juggernauts, Blood Crushers, the ones riding Juggernauts. No, that's Demons. Whatever the Chaos guys riding Juggernauts are. And then you got, is there anything else that's mounted? Oh, maybe, my brain's not working. Disco Lords, but I'm assuming they already have a good info. So it's really just going to help be good on infantry and bikes. The rest of the stuff already has it, probably. But that's fine. Keep him near some of your... Yes, because it says within, not fully within. So yes, you could have... Make him walking up to an objective with some troops near him. Battle line, not troop. That's okay. Lord of the Trader Legion, another aura. Well, friendly heretic gets started using at 6 inches of model. You can reroll leadership and battle shock tests to take from that unit. That could be key late in the game. You take some damage. Your only objectives, you don't want to give them up by failing the battle shock. So none of these are amazing. None of these are horrible. Not like Gilliman double Oath of the Moment or stuff like that. So none of these are super impressive. They're all okay. They got Dark Destiny. Each time this model makes a Dark Pact, it does not fail the resulting leadership test. Roll a d6. On a 2+, you gain 1 CP. Alright, so he's leadership 5, so he's not going to fail Dark Pact most of the time. And see if the Terminator unit can take an icon, then they can be re-rolling it. So then most of the time you'll be gaining a CP. Not bad. 4 pinfall. Once again, good damage, okay. Abilities, okay. Stat line. Yeah, so once again, not game breaking, I don't think. Very solid, very balanced. Liking what I'm seeing so far for most of this stuff. Bale Flamer. Ignores cover torrent. I'm assuming that's going to be on most flamers, if not all now, so that's good. 12-inch range. So that's a little short, but he's a fast boy, so he should be able to get it there on the Helldrake. D6 plus 3. No Bliss Still because it auto hit. Strength 6, neg 1, 2 damage. Very solid. Range could be better on a flyer, but it's okay. Torrent, yeah, we automatically hits. We saw that in the when we went through all the weapon rules earlier. Flush metal guns only Oblitz. Let's see what this ugly boy has. Alright, so they got 3 options still. So you're not rolling for their stats like you used to have to do. That's good. You just pick one. So we got a Melta 2. Looks like they're all 24 inches. D3, strength 3, 3 up to hit. Strength 12. That's good. That's much better than a regular Melta. That's wounding Land Raiders and stuff on 3s. I'm sorry, on 4s. And Rhinos and stuff on 3s. Neg 3 instead of neg 4, but 4 damage instead of D6. So at 12 inches, you're doing flat 6 damage. Alright, so I like this a lot better than the multi-meltas and melta-guns. That's a very solid weapon profile. Ruinous Salvo, Blast. So for every 5 models in the unit, you get an extra hit. So D6, 3 up to hit, Strength 8, neg 2, 2 damage. That's solid, especially if you're shooting that into Horde, getting a bunch of extra hits. War Pale, Sustained hits 1, 24 inches, D6 plus 3, 3 up to hit, Strength 5, neg 1, 1 damage. I'd say that's probably the weakest of the weapons. Sustained hit's good. If you're shooting at like a little cultist unit or like something like that, a little Genestealer cult unit, you just need those couple extra shots because they have no save. But against most stuff, you're probably using these two. All right, then we got a Dark Obscuration Stratagem. So your opponent's shooting phase just after enemy unit has selected its targets. Alright, so after your opponent selects one of your shoot, pick one of your Heretic Astartes units from your army that was selected as a target one or more of those units attacking. Until the end of the phase, your unit has the stealth ability. In addition, if your unit is a Nurgle unit, until the end of the phase, your unit can only be selected as the target of the ranged attack if the attacking model is within 12 inches. Alright, so this is super strong on Nurgle. Against everybody else, it just makes you -1 to hit. That's solid. Yeah, if you're running some Nurgle units and they're shooting at you like, no, you're not within 12, you can't target me, that is super strong. The rest of the time, it's just okay. So I'm wondering if all their strats are going to be, if we're going to have like 1 strat for each god, or so what they said, we're going to get 6 or 9 generic strats per. So they'll probably have 4 that each affect a god specifically better, and then like 2 generic ones. And that's it. Pretty solid. Nothing like, wow, that's game breaking, but nothing like, oh, that's weak, don't run it. It all seems very solid, which is what I've thought of all 3 of the first ones. So if they keep it that way, other than the Tyranids ability to just auto battle shock you, that is the strongest thing I believe I've seen so far. But I'm liking the balance of everything I'm seeing. Nothing seems super broken, and nothing seems